I don't know you, but I think I know why you're here. You've probably been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for a while. My guess is a little over 3 years. And you also like the idea of creating content, but you just don't know what the heck to do to get started. As a designer with over 10 years of creative experience, I have a couple tips and tricks to help you get started. We still have to decide which coffee shop to go to. This is my setup. First, if you want to start taking filming seriously, you need to start filming a lot more. It sounds kind of obvious, but I can't tell you how many people say they want to start a YouTube, but they don't actually film anything. I was kind of like that when I first started. I don't know how, but I actually have a good amount of friends who are pretty active on YouTube, several friends who have really large channels. And when I first told them, hey, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel and start posting content, one of them, after almost spending an entire week together, she was just like, girl, you don't act like a content creator. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And she was just like, I haven't seen you film anything during the entire week we were hanging out together. And I was like, that's right, that is true, but it's because I don't really know what to film about. I haven't decided what my channel is going to be about. Like, I had a million excuses. And she basically said, no, but you need to be filming stuff. I have a different friend who also told me something similar. She told me that I need to just start documenting everything in a video format and basically approach it like you're just documenting your life. It doesn't have to be something that you show people, but it's also always better to have too many footage than too little. It's not a bad problem to have. So just go ahead and start filming. And over time, I started getting better at deciding which scenes to capture and what scenes to let go. Next thing I want to talk about is gears. You could just start on your iPhone or whatever camera you have access to.
Your camera quality is better than this camera. Yeah,
I think that especially if you have your phone from the last 5 years, and even more so if you have iPhone 15 Pro Max or later, those cameras are just cracked. I can talk more about that later in a different video, but basically iPhone 15 Pro and after lets you film in log right from your iPhone, which is something that's unheard of from the previous generation of phone cameras. I'm a hypocrite because I bought so many camera gears and gadgets, different lenses during the first year I started filming for YouTube, and there's so many purchases that I regret. I think in total I dropped somewhere around like $3,000, and that's actually not including everything. And also there's a good amount of products that I got gifted from family and friends. What got me started was my iPhone. Don't make the same mistake I made and just stick with your camera, whatever it is that you have, and just get started. Build good habits. Just start documenting your life and you should be good to go. I'm also a bit of an extroverted introvert. So whenever I film a vlog and I have to film something in public, I try to be as discreet as possible. And when you're filming with your iPhone, that's one of the key benefits, is that it's very unnoticeable. So I'll usually go to a coffee shop and I'll find like a table that's tucked away in the corner away from people, because I also don't want to bother anybody, don't want any attention on me. I'll use like a shelf or another table as a way to prop up my camera, and then I'll just film myself. And you can usually come back home and do a voiceover or text over screen to tell your story. So that way you don't have to experience this awkward phase where you're walking around with your camera and your mic and your entire gear and you're walking down the street talking to your camera. Like, that's one way, one style of filming videos, but that doesn't have to be you. If you're like me and you're a little shy and you don't want people giving you unwanted attention. And finally, I want to talk about editing. Stop editing so much. Full stop. Again, I'm a hypocrite. I made this mistake countless times, but you basically need to give yourself a hard deadline. And once you go past that deadline, you just have to stop everything, package it up, and post it. You think that if you spend that extra 6 hours, your video is going to become dramatically better. But my friend, let me tell you, it will not. There's this thing called diminishing return. It doesn't apply to everything in life, but it applies to a lot of things in life. And it certainly does to content creation. So if you've been editing the same video for 10 plus hours and you have a deadline that you already set for yourself, wrap it up and post it. Don't miss a deadline and move on to the next one. The most important part is that you put in the rep. It's more important important that every time you post a new video, you do one thing better than the previous video, and it's less important about how perfect each video is. That's pretty much all I have to say. You might be thinking, oh, that was way too simple, but that's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. Content creation and making videos is not that complicated. And the reason content creation and video making, all of that feels hard is because we have this perceived idea that it should be hard, that it should take a lot of work and effort. It is a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort, but in a way, getting started and kind of building that momentum, it's a lot more simpler than you think. So my goal with this video is to hopefully encourage you to get out of your comfort zone and start creating, start building that momentum. That way you can get your first video out, because let's be real, posting that first video is probably the hardest part of it all. So hopefully this video was helpful. And if you are posting your first ever video, I would love to see that. So please leave them in the comment below. If you enjoyed watching this video, consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. As a small channel, those really do go a long way. And as always, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.